มหาอภิวาทะพุทธว
พุทธ
จ
วจ
นะ
นะ
จตุ
จตุ
รา
รา
สี
สี
ติ
ติธรรม
ธรรมขั
ขัน
นธะ
ธะ
สหัส
ม
สา
หัสสา
นิ
นิ
วี
วี
สติ
สติ
อริย
อริย
สัจ
มรร
นะ
คะ
วีส
วี
ติ
สติ
สา
สา
มัญญ
มัญญพ
พละ
ละเอ
เอกา
กะ
นิพ
นิพ
พา
พา
นะ
นะคิ
คิ
ปา
ปาปิญ
ปิญญา
ญาโดย
โด
เฉียบ
ยเฉีย
พลัน
บพลันใน
ในประ
ประวั
วัติการ
ติการ
นี้เทิน
นี้เทิน
โย
โย
โว
โว
วา
อานัน
ธร
ท
รม
ม
ยา
ยา
ธรร
ธั
ม
ม
โม
โม
จา
จา
วิน
วิ
โย
นโย
จะ
จะ
เท
เท
สิโต
สิโต
ปั
ปั
ญ
ญ
ญา
ญา
โต
โต
โส
โส
โภ
โว
มะมะ
มา
จ
มา
เย
จเยนะ
นัส
สัท
สัท
ธา
ธาโย
โย
โว
โว
ปา
อา
นัน
นัน
ท
ท
ม
ม
ยา
ยา
ธร
ธั
รม
มโม
โมจา
จา
วิ
วิ
นโย
นโยจะ
จะ
เท
เท
สิโต
สิโตปั
ปัญ
ญญา
ญา
โต
โต
โส
โสโว
โภ
มา
มะ
มา
มะ
จะ
จะ
เย
เย
นะ
นะ
สัท
สัท
ธา
ธาโย
โยโว
โว
อา
อา
นัน
นันทม
ทม
ยา
ยา
ธรร
ธั
ม
มโมจา
จะ
วินโย
โย
จะ
จะ
เท
เท
สิโต
สิโตปั
ปัญ
ญญา
ญา
โต
โตโส
โส
โว
โหมะ
มา
มะจะเย
จะเย
นะ
นะ
สัท
สัท
ธา
ธาพุทธ
พุทธ
วจ
วจ
นะ
นะจตุราสีติธรรมขันธาสหัสสา
สหัสสา
นิ
นิ
คือปร
คือป
มัตถะ
รมัตถ
อนุตตร
อนุตตร
สัมมา
สัมมา
สัมโพ
สัมโพ
ธิ
ธิ
ส
ส
มณะ
มณะ
โค
โค
ต
ตมะ
มะปัญ
ปัญญา
ญาธิกะ
ธิกะนะโม
นะโมตัสสะ
ตัสสะ
ภะ
ภะ
คะวะโต
คะวะโตอะ
อะ
ระ
ระ
หะโต
หะโตสัมมาสัมพุท
สัม
ธัสสะ
พุทธัสสะมหาอภิวา
อภิวา
ท
ทะปรมั
ปร
ตถ
มัตถ
ะ
อนุตตร
สัม
สัมมา
มาสัมโพ
สัมโพ
ธิ
ธิปัญ
ปัญ
ญา
ญา
ธิกะ
ธิกะทรง
ทรง
บำเพ็ญ
บำ
ม
เพ็ญ
หา
มหา
บารมี
ปารมี
ยี่สิบ
20
ประส
อสง
งค์ไขย
ไขย
กำไร
กำไร
แสน
แสน
กับ
กัปปะ
ทรง
ทรง
พบปร
พบปร
มัตถ
มัตถ
อนุตตร
อนุตตร
สัมมา
สัมมา
สัมโพ
สัมโพ
ธิ
ธิ
ห้าแส
ห้า
น
แสน
หนึ่ง
หนึ่งหมื่น
หมื่นสอง
สอง
พัน
พัน
ยี่
ยี่
สิบแปด
สิบแปดปัญญา
ปัญญา
ธิกะ
ธิกาพุ
พุท
ทธะ
ธะ
ด้วย
ด้วย
เสียง
เสียง
กล่าว
เก้าว
นะโม
นะโม
ตัสสะ
ตัสสะภะคะ
ภะ
วะโต
คะวะโตอะระ
อะ
หะโต
ระหะโต
สัมมา
สัมมา
สัมพุทธั
สัมพุท
สสะ
ธัสสะมหา
มหาอ
อภิวา
ภิวา
ทะ
ทะปรมัตถะ
ปรมัตถ
ปร
อนุตตร
สัม
สัมมา
มาสัมโพธิ
สัมโพธิสัทธา
อนุต
ธิกะ
ถธิกะทรง
ทรง
บำเพ็ญ
บำเพ็ญ
มหาม
มหา
ภารมี
ปารมี
40อส
40อ
งไขย
สงไข
กำไร
ยะ
แสนกับ
กำไรแสนกัปปะ
กับปะ
ทรงพบ
ทรงพบปรมัตถะ
ปรมัตถ
อนุตตร
อนุตต
สัม
ร
มา
สัม
สัมโพ
มาสัม
ธิ
โพธิ
หนึ่ง
หนึ่ง
ล้านส
ล้านสอง
องหมื่น
หมื่นสี่
สี่พัน
พัน
ห้า
ห้า
สิบห้า
สิบห้า
สั
สัท
ทธาธิ
ธาธิ
กะพุท
กะพุท
ธะด้วย
ธะ
เสียง
ด้วยเสีย
กล่าว
งเก้าว
นะ
นะ
โม
โม
ตัสสะ
ตัสสะภะ
ภะ
คะ
คะ
วะโต
วะโตอะระ
อะระ
หะโต
หะโตสั
สั
มมา
มมาสัมพุ
สัมพุท
ทธัสสะ
ธัสสะ
มหา
มหาอ
วิ
ภิวา
วัต
ทะ
ปรมัต
ปร
ถะ
มัตถ
อนุตตร
อนุตตร
สัมมา
สัม
สัมโพ
มาสัมโพ
ธิ
ธิ
วิริ
วิ
ยา
ริยา
ธิกะ
ธิกะ
ทรง
ทรง
บำเพ็ญ
บำเพ็ญ
มหา
มหา
บารมี
ปารมี
80อ
80
สงไข
อสงไข
ยกำไร
ยะ
แสน
กำไร
กับ
แสนกัปปะ
ปะ
ทรงพบ
ทรงพบ
ป
ปร
รมัตถ
มัตถะอนุตตร
อนุตต
สัมมา
รสัม
สัมโพ
มาสัมโพ
ธิ
ธิ
สอง
2
ล้า
ล้าน
นสี่
สี่หมื่น
หมื่นแป
แปดพั
ดพันหนึ่ง
นหนึ่ง
ร้อยเก้า
ร้อยเก้าวิริยา
พุท
ธิ
ธะ
กะพุ
ด้วยเสียง
ทธะด้วย
กล่าว
เสียงกล่าวสาธุ everybody
สาธุสาธุสาธุนะโมติอุปนิธิปัตตานุโมทนา
อนุโมทามิ
Okay. So let's begin. Okay, let's begin the class today. Um, Before we begin the class, as always, we need to mention about the important note that um, Dhamma provided in this presentation is simple and not Gambhira or profound. People must continuously study Dhamma or else it will lead to Mahatapa, Niraya or hell, because it is Micchaทิฏฐิ, not following the Buddha's teaching. If any provided content contrasts with Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka, please refer to Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka only. Today is the seventh Sukha Pakatsa, Patha, uh, Patha,
พัทธะพัทธะ
Patha Patha Masassa, Mahaputtha Chayanti 2614, or August 30, Buddha's era 2568. As we mentioned at the beginning of the class, Yobo Anantamaya Dhammo Ja Vinayo Ja Te Sito Panyato Sobo Mama Jayena Sattha Buddha Vachana 84,000 is Anuttara Samma Sampodhi. Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said this before Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi enters Nirvana, that Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi didn't assign any bhikkhu or bhikkhuni to be the representative of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. However, Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said that Buddha Vajana 84,000 Dhammakantaka is Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. Therefore, that's why we need to Sikkaya. And for Puttha Parisa, for Puttha Parisa, we have the responsibility consisting of the four Puttha Parisa must well understand the Tipitaka, 84,000 Dhammakantaka. The four Puttha Parisa must be able to correctly present 84,000 Dhammakantaka. And the third one is the four Puttha Parisa must be able to correct those who condemn or misunderstand the Tipitaka, 84,000 Dhammakantaka. And
Let's pay respect to our Tipitaka Dhammacariya Suchad Naak On, Than Angka Kuna Ariya Dhamma Sotapanna, and Than Pachara Poti Dhamma Sotapanna. Sopatipanno, Sopatipanno, Sopatipanno. Sadhu, 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 Navuti Upanti Pumpha Anumodhami.
Okay, today we are going, first of the topics today, we are going to talk about Punya Kriya Vattu 10. Dhamma of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi is the Dhamma that leads to Magga, Phala, and Nibbana. And it is difficult. We have already known that the Dhamma is very difficult to understand. Even with Sikkaya available, understanding them is exceedingly difficult. However, it is necessary for us to know this. And Bunyakriya Vattu 10 is the pathway for us to Sikkaya and leads to Lokuttara. We have a common belief is that if we just practice diligently in the Pajupanna, we will attain the Dhamma. So we strive earnestly, but for the present practice to be effective, we must have listened to Atita Chat. The act of Sikkaya Dhamma is itself included in Punya Kriya Vattu 10. That's why we need to know about Punya Kriya Vattu 10. And Punya Kriya Vattu 10 and the foundation, they are essentially a summary of all 84,000 Dhammakantaka. Punya Kriya Vattu 10 leads to Magga, Phala, and Nirvana. It is because it's the only way to reach Magga, Phala, Nirvana is through Punya Kriya Vattu 10. And I believe that many Dhammacariya has already teach you about Punya Kriya Vattu 10. But in this class, we emphasize this again for you that the only way to reach Lokuttara that we go through Punya Kriya Vattu 10, and we perform Punya Kriya Vattu 10, and we need to understand what Punya Kriya Vattu 10 are. And from this article, it shows that Punya Kriya Vattu 10 are the representative of 84,000 Dhammakantaka by themselves. So by performing or Sikkaya through Punya Kriya Vattu 10, you'll meet Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, because Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi is Dhamma 84,000 Dhammakantaka, as we mentioned at the beginning of the class. And that we mentioned that yovo ananta maya dhammo cha vinayo cha tesito panyatto sovo mamachayena sattha dhamma 84,000 dhammakantaka, which is paramattha dham, is anuttara samma sambuddhi. So by doing so, we must grasp the principle of the path within Punya Kriya Vattu 10. At first, it is difficult because it's very operated into two levels. The first level is what Buddha taught in his Dhamma Tesana. The name of Punyagrutu 10 belongs to the domain of Suttanta here. Belong to the domain of Suttanta here. This is the place of Punyagravatu 10. It starts from here. Where 84,000 Dhammakantaka of Dhamma are contained. However, the reason of Buddhagravatu 10 can lead to Lokuttara because they are, by their very nature, Kamma, which here, we travel through Kamma system, which this one, this one is Rupa Samudadhana, consisting of Kamashrupa 18, Chittashrupa 15, Utushrupa 13, and Aharashrupa 12. As from other classes, you may have already known that we need to travel to Hatayavatu. In Hatayavatu, it contains 107 citta, consisting of two parts. The first part is located with Hatayavatu itself, that contains 37 citta. And the second part, the rest of the second part within Hatayavatu that contains 70 citta that stay inside Hatayavatu. And within citta that locate with the citta that locate in and with Hatayavatu, they also contain Lokuttara citta, 40 with that. However, there are only 5 of Lokuttara citta that stays with Hatayavatu. The rest, 35 of Lokuttara citta stays inside Hatayavatu. The five Lokuttara citta that stays with Hatayavatu, they are Sotapadimaka citta, 5 that stays with Hatayavatu. Therefore, we need to go to Hatayavatu in order to go to Lokuttara. And this is, however, the Punyagravatu can lead to Lokuttara. That Punyagravatu 10 can help you, leads from Suttanta into Abhidhamma and to Lokuttara, because their very nature is Kamma, and we have just shown you that by mention about Kamma, we are meaning Rupa Samudadhana at this moment, and from Rupa Samudadhana, Rupa Samudadhana, it contains 5 groups of Rupa, and we need to travel from Citta Shrupa, Utushrupa, Aharashrupa, which are staying with us on our present life, back to Kamashrupa, where Hatayavatu located, and with Hatayavatu, they have 107 citta altogether. With Hatayavatu itself, 37 citta, and our destination, we need to go to Sotapadimaka citta 5. However, after we be able to go to Sotapadimaka citta 5, at this moment, we will attain Sotapadimaka. After that, when we enter citta 70 within Hatayavatu, we will gain Sotapatiphala and Sakatakamimaka, Sakatakamiphala, Anakamimaka, Anakamiphala. And finally, after we go to Arahataphala, in that case, we enter Nirvana. That will be our main destination, that we are Sikkaya. That is our final destination. And we can go to our final destination, which is Sota, but which is Arahataphala by Punyagravatu 10. Starts from Punyagravatu 10. So, because Punyagravatu 10 are Kamma, and this reveals a deeply hidden point of Dhamma, Punyagravatu 10 conceals the concept of Kamma within themselves. This shows us that the only way to reach Magga, Phala, Nirvana is to enter the path of Kamma, and Kamma is that which must be continually act upon. So Kamma hides itself within Bunyagravatu 10. So this system hides itself within Bunyagravatu 10. You might think that when we perform these 10 actions, it is for a better future. In reality, they are performing to reach Magga, Phala, and Nirvana. Because normally we translate Bunyagravatu 10 into communication language. For example, for us, we translate Bunyagravatu 10 into Thai language. And in this case, we can translate Bunyagravatu 10 into English language or into Hindi. And when you translate into your communication language, you misunderstand and you will understand that you need to perform accordingly to the translation of each topic and the Bunyagravatu 10. So when you perform that, you think that Bunyagravatu 10 is the guideline of what you should do and what you shouldn't do in your daily lives in order to follow the teachings of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. However, that is misleading to the different direction because actually we don't need to translate Bunyagravatu 10 into our communication language. However, at the beginning, we need to understand that Bunyagravatu 10 starts from Suttanta, which we can compare that our world that we are living in our daily lives, it lies in Suttanta. We are saying here we are in Suttanta. And when we are staying in here in Suttanta, our daily lives resides in Suttanta. And Suttanta cover all of our daily activities, including our body, the sun, the earth, trees, plants, cars, and food that you eat, and many things, everything that we need to interact with in our daily lives, and not only those, including the sun, including solar system, including the universe, and also including other universes, everything included in Suttanta. And at this moment, I believe that all of you know that Suttanta is the result, and the result that caused by Abhidhamma.
กัน
ครับ
what you mean is our daily life. It mean that we doing something or we not doing something. It is all sutanta, right?
Right. Is
Like
it really?
I go to work. Is this in sutanta? Also in sutanta or not? I go to work.
Yes, that's also including in Suttanta.
Is this not work for dhamma? But I go to work for lokiya things. Like I go to work for the company or I go to work for the school. It's still sutanta or not?
Yes, that is also in Suttanta. Because that's a good point, very good point, Piping. Our daily activities, if we judge those kind of things by using our five senses, by our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, we think that there is nothing related to Dhamma at all. It's our daily activities. We going to work, right? In that activity, if you look through those activities by not Sikaya, you'll see that that is normal activities. Everybody do that. Everybody go to work. What's the different? What's the important is that, and how it's related to Dhamma. But when we classify those activities and those objects and your body that including in that activities as Suttanta. You see, Suttanta is here. You see this chart. When your daily lives reside in Suttanta, Sutanta under the main topic of Dhamma. Dhamma classified into two groups. The first one is Sutanta and the second one is Abhidhamma. And your daily lives stays in Sutanta category. As Sutanta category stays under Dhamma, it means that your daily activities are Sutanta. And Sutanta is one of the group under Dhamma. Therefore, your daily activities include are under Dhamma. That's why we said that your daily activities also be able to explain under Dhamma. And when your daily activities resides in the group of Sutanta, and we know that Sutanta is the result.
You mean that if I quarrel with my colleague or my friend, I hit him, I do something. Is this also Dhamma?
Yes, also Dhamma, but the results of those Dhamma depends on the input that you on Sikkaya that you have. If you're following the Bunyakriya 10, the results will be Kusala. And if you are not comply with Bunyakriya 10, the results will be Akusala one.
Okay, when I quarrel with my friend, it's apply in Akusala one, right?
Because you don't know the cause of those activities. According to the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, the results will be Punya Kriyavattu, and then the final results will be Akusala one, then send you to Abhaya Bhumi for.
But it's still in Sutanta,
Yes,
right?
that's correct.
But Sutanta have a Akusala thing and Kusala thing.
Yes.
Okay. So if doing Dhamma work or Dhamma things, then you get Kusala. But if you don't doing Dhamma things or anything not related to Dhamma, you doing Akusala is also Sutanta.
This
Right?
one is very, very important point, Piping.
Yep.
Very, very good that you mentioned about this one, because at this moment we are deciding what happened in our daily activities, which stays in Sutanta according to our five senses. We see they performing that activities in Vatta or Vivatta, that we classify those activities as the good one or Kusala one. And we classify the one that related to our daily activities apart from related to Vatta Vivatta as Akusala one. However, as we mentioned at the beginning, that Suttanta, what happened in Sutanta, including everything in our daily lives, those are the result. And the cause comes from Abhidhamma. Actually, when it become result by itself doesn't create kusala or akusala by itself. When you are classifying it, classify those activity as kusala or akusala one, you need to go back to cause, which stays under Abhidhamma. And within Abhidhamma, divided into two main parts. The first one is Panyatitham, and the second one is Paramattham. And under Paramattham, it contains Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. And at this place, at the level of Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, at this level, it will decide that the activities that you perform in Suttanta will become Kusala or Akusala one, depends on the interaction or the activities of Chitta, Cetasika, and Rupa. For the case that Piping mentioned, when we perform, when we have our daily activities like cleaning, like go to work, when we go to work, without knowing anything about the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, without knowing that our daily lives are classified as Suttanta and also under Dhamma and also are the results of the cause that come from Abhidhamma. And within Abhidhamma, they are unable to recite. They don't know anything about Chitta, Cetasika, and Rupa. In that case, the person who go to work, their activities, working activities, it go directly to Abhidhamma and go directly to Akusala because that person know nothing about the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. However, the same exact activities go to work. But now, with the person who Sikkaya, for this one, he also go to work. This person also go to work exactly the same as the previous example, the previous person as an example. They perform exactly the same when you judge these two people by using your five senses. They perform, they act the same, they interact with the same object, everything is exactly the same. However, when their activity sent from Suttanta to Dhamma to Abhidhamma and then Panyatitham and enter Paramatthatham and enter Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. When they entered at this level, this person with Sikkaya, this person can recite Citta 121, Cetasika 52, Rupa 28. In that case, by performing so, their activities if their activities comply with the Bunyagarivattu 10, comply with the Sila under Bunyagarivattu 10, and then Bunyagarivattu 10 will send those information to Abhidhamma and to Chitta. And Chitta that act as a base of Bunyagarivattu 10. Those Chitta are Mahakusala Chitta 8, and this person Sikkaya. So this person can recite Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. So this person has basis, has Mahakusala Citta 8 as base layer for Bunyagara to 10 to perform. Then the result of the correct Sila and then have the Mahakusala Citta 8 as a basis or as a base of Punyagara to 10. The result would be Kusala. In this case, these two person, the first person, this one don't know anything about Sikkaya and don't know anything about Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa. They perform exactly the same. The first person go to Abhaya Bhumi 4. However, the second person get kusala and also on the way to Lokuttara, even they are going to work exactly the same. This is why Pipping point is very important because if you judge by your five senses, you will classify very easy that the one who go to Vata, Vivata, or activities that related to Dhamma, as we know, should be kusala one, and those the rest of the activities that not related to the activities that we mentioned before, those activities should be a kusala one, but that one is incorrect because those we judge those activities according to our opinion and our five senses, right? But what we are pointing out is that how to classify those activities as kusala or akusala one. We need to go from Suttanta to Dhamma to Abhidhamma and decide that if those activities comply with Bunyagara to 10 and those activities of that person have Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa or Sikkaya as base as a base of those activities or not. So it's quite complicated. That's why we mentioned at the beginning of the article that by Sikkaya is quite hard for quite hard to understand. So Satu Piping for the very good question.
Satu is very close, the same activity, the same thing that we do, but it can separate by Sikhaya in order to know that what is kusala and what is akusala. The same thing, but can classify, right?
Right, right.
สาธุ ค่ะ
So at this point, you see that it's not that easy. So when we see the same person, the same when you see different person perform the same things, the result might not be the same. The one of them might go to Logotra, one of them might go to Abhayabhumi 4. It depends on how Chitta, Cetasika, Rupa interact with inside themselves. So that's why when new people come for Sikaya, we always insist them to recite Chitta and Cetasika Rupa first, because in order for Bunyakareva to tend to perform, Bunyakareva to tend need Chitta as base layer, especially Mahakusala Chitta 8 as a base layer of Bunyakareva to tend to perform. Without base layer of Chitta Cetasika Rupa, and especially in this case for Mahakusala Chitta 8, without knowing those Chitta Cetasika Rupa, Bunyakareva to tend cannot perform. That's why we mentioned that when you translate Bunyakareva to 10 into your communication language, and without knowing anything about Citta, Cetasika, Rupa, and teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, only believes that if you perform the same thing exactly what Bunyakareva to 10 translate into your communication language, and you get Kusala and you be able to end the cycle of existence, that would be misunderstanding, because instead of understand translation into communication language, and you believe that those are the guidelines that you should perform accordingly, you need to translate from your communication language back to Makatha language, which said Bunyakareva to 10, and from Bunyakareva to 10 go to the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. In these words, it seems like the only one, it's normal word, the one word, but actually this one word can separate into three main parts. The first one is punya, the second one is kiriya, and the last one is vatu. Punya, it by itself, it shows that it needs punya, mahakusala citta 8 to perform. And Kiriya is the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, and Vatu is the hidden word of Kamma, as mentioned in this article. That Kamma here, Kamma means Kam and Akam, or Kamma Shrupa, Chitta Shrupa, Utu Shrupa, and Hara Shrupa. And we usually mention mainly on Chitta Shrupa, because Chitta Shrupa contains the all of Agama Shrupa. Apart from Utushrupa and Harashrupa, some of Agama Shrupa missing. The complete one is Chitta Shrupa 15. So from Chitta Shrupa 15, when you want to travel, when you are traveling from in the gum system, you need to travel through Bunyakareva to 10. Bunyakareva to 10 consisting of Tan, Sin, Pavana, Apajayana, Vayavacha, Padithan, Patanumodana, Dhammasavana, Dhammatesana, and Hitushukam. For Bunyakareva to 10, there is one interesting thing, which is Sila. Sila under Bunyakareva to 10, and Sila by itself, it means Kaya Vinyati Rupa and Vaji Vinyati Rupa. And these Vinyati Rupa 2 are here. And Vinyati Rupa 2 classified as Akamma Shrupa, which means that it's created from the past, but it's for you to use in present. And for when you use in present, the result of when you use these two rupa in present life, it can send you to future and or back to Lokuttara. It depends on the information that you get. However, when you get the information, you get through Kaya Vinyatirupa and Vachi Vinyatirupa. For Kaya Vinyatirupa and Vachi Vinyatirupa, this one control the build of Uttushupa 13 and Harushupa 12, which create everything that we interact with, including our body. So whatever we interact with our daily lives, as we being mentioned that we go to work, those when we go to work also classified within Uttushupa, Harushupa group. And by those interaction, it sends information to Kaya Vinyatirupa and Vachi Vinyatirupa. And when sent back, you Kaya Vinyatirupa and Vachi Vinyatirupa will be will be will be will be check if those information that came through Kaya Vinyatirupa, Vachi Vinyatirupa comply with Sila or not. If those activities comply with Sila, it will receive those information through Bunyakariya Vatu and send to Manokamma, the rest Manokamma 9, and start from Akusala Chitta, from Manokam from here. For Sila, Sila is Kaya Kam Sila and Vajikam Sila. It receives information through here. And if those information or those activities classified into Sila, it will received and sent through Bunyakariya Vatu. At this moment, from Bunyakariya to 10, it transformed into Bunyakariya to 11 because by Sila divided into two items. The first one is Kaya Kamma Sila, and the second one is Vachi Kamma Sila. At this point, Bunyagara from Bunyagara to 10 become Bunyagara to 11. And from here, it divided into more details for Manokamma Tesana become Anapicha. And for Kaya Kamma Sila by itself becomes Panatipata Virati, Adhinatana Virati, Kame Sumichhajara Virati. And Vachi Kamma Sila from one item becomes 4 items, become Musa Vacha Virati, Pisunaya Vachaya Virati, Parusaya Vachaya Virati, and Sampapalapa Virati. And Manokam Pavana become Apayapatha and Sammadhitti. Manokamma Apajayana become Apayapatha and Sammadhitti. Manokamma Vayavacha become Pitcha and Sammadhitti. Manokam but I think Patithana becomes Apicca and Sammadhitti. Manokamma Patanumotana become Apicca and Sammadhitti. Manokam Dhamma Savana become Sammadhitti, and Manokamma Dhamma Tesana become Anapicca Piyapata Sammadhitti, and the final one is Titushukam, Manokam Titushukam becomes Sammadhitti. You see from 11, and the item at this moment, it's and each item from Bunyagrao to 11 divide itself into more details. So from this point, Bunyagrao to 11 become Bunyagrao to 23. And Bunyagrao to 23 by itself, when we said about Anapicca Piyapata Sammadhitti, Anapicca Piyapata Sammadhitti, that actually they are Cetasika. Anapicca is a lopa cetasik. Apayapata atosa cetasik, and Sammadhitti. This one is Panya cetasik. And you know that Panya cetasik always, and you know that all cetasik always work with Chitta, and they need to stay with Chitta. It means that when Bunyagreya to start from Bunyagreya to 10 stays with you in Suttanta. However, when it becomes 11 and this moment it becomes 23, it becomes Cetasika. And Cetasika work with Chitta. It means that when Bunyagreya to turns into 23, Bunyagreya to by at this point it stays with Chitta, and Chitta stays with Vattu. At this moment, this Bunyagreya Vattu stays with Hataya Vattu, and they are ready to perform their activities. But when they are performing Bunyagreya Vattu, they need Mahakusala Chitta 8 as base. So each of these Cetasik will interact with Mahakusala Chitta to perform what information they received, and then Bunyagreya Vattu 10 will create with Bunyagreya Vattu 10 with Kusala Kammapata 10 will Pahana Kusala Kammapata 10 and leads you to Sotapati Makha, Sotapati Phala, Sakatha Kami Makha, Sakatha Kami Phala, Anakami Makha, Anakami Phala, and Arahanta Makha. This group called Sekha. We start from Sikha, that's why we need to Sikhaya. Through Sikhaya, you see, we are following the Punyagreya to all the way through Sikhaya until we reach Sekha. However, Sekha is still under the path or the pathway of Punyagreya to start from 10, 11, 23, and then Pahana into Sekha until we reach Arahata Makha, and finally we reach Arahata Phala, we call Sekha, and enter Nirvana. You see that from this chart, it shows from the beginnings from Suttanta, start from Bunyagreya to 10, travel to Dhamma, to Abhidhamma, to Kamma, to Vattu, Hataya Vattu. And when you reach Hataya Vattu, Bunyagreya to 10 turns into 23. And when it turns to 23, and it also be able to help you Pahana, Panatipata, Tinathana, Kame Sumichachara, Musavata, and Michatitti. If you can Pahana these 5 items, you become Sota Patimakha. And that is the result of become Sota Patimakha. You don't have to go back to Abhayapum anymore. And from that point, the only way to go is to Nirvana. And you will develop from Sotapati Makha to Sotapati Phala, Sakatagami Makha, Sakatagami Phala, Anakami Makha, and Anakami Phala, Arahata Makha, and finally Arahata Phala. And when you develop into each level, you also develop through Bunyagreya Vattu. Start from 10, 11, 23, accordingly.
Okay, from this point, I have wonder that you said that Punkriya Vatu 10 is the tooling to bring us from Lokiya to Lokutara, but all the Punkriya Vatu 10 is only Manokam, and how we can, and Sila is Kai and Vachikama. And then how we can done is because it is monogam, it is namatama. So it is not the thing that we can push or we can done and we can think. So how we can get to Lokotara in this point?
That's very good point, Piping. Also very good question. When we said about Bunyagreya to 10, we said that Bunyagreya to 10 stays with us in Suttanta. And when Bunyagreya to 10 transform into 11 and 23, it becomes Bunyagreya to that stays with Hataya Vattu, with Chitta. And at that moment, Chitta. When Bunyagravatu 10 stay with Chitta, they perform interaction with Chitta Cetasika, which is the cause that create everything, and also Pahana things at that level. So we start from ourselves, our daily activities, and everything we interact with our daily lives. Those are classified as Suttanta. So we are here. Whatever we do, wherever we go, no matter how far we go, even we go to the sun, to the moon, to this beyond our solar system, we're still in Suttanta. We cannot travel. We cannot travel from out by ourselves, by our physically, our body, out of Suttanta layer into Dhamma, into Abhidhamma by ourselves. No, we cannot go that way. But when we classified everything that we interact as Suttanta, we are putting our whole world, our whole system into Suttanta, into this chart. When we put everything of our lives into this chart, starts from here, and here we also contain Bunyagravatu 10. And when we are entering Bunyagravatu 10, we enter Bunyagravatu 10 through Sila. Because Sila is one of the 10 items of Bunyagravatu 10, and the Sila is the only one that classified as Kaya and Vaji. And our daily lives as shown in this chart are considered as the items or things that are built by Kaya Vinyati and Vaji Vinyati, or they are actually everything of what we interact in our daily lives. Those are classified as Kai and Vaji, or Pana Adhina Game Musapi Sunavata Purusavata Sampapalapa. Therefore, we need to know how to interact with everything in our daily lives or even our body, how to use them and comply with sila, with sila, in order to be able to go to Bunyagravatu. We enter Bunyagravatu through sila. However, without sikkaya, without knowing the correct interaction by using our sila or our kai and vaji, by our decision by ourselves without consulting with the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, the result would be tu sila, or unable to comply with sila. In that case, it will go to a punya kriya vatu. And the result of a punya kriya vatu, those are akusala and abhayabhumi 4. So the main point to enter punya kriya vatu is through sila. Only one of the 10 items of Bunyagravatu 10. Only one that we need to enter. We need to enter through sila. And through sila, how can we perform and comply with sila? We need to consult with the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. That's why we need to find the correct teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi that stays with us in Suttanta, in our life, in this life. That's why we need to find 84,000 Dhammakantaka, which is Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, and we need to Sikkaya. When we Sikkaya, we know Citta, Cetasika, Rupa as the basis, as base layer that will later on when we Sikkaya, when we know a lot, when we know more detail about Bunyagravatu 10, Bunyagravatu 10 can perform and create kusala for us if we are unable to pahana into Sotapadimaka. If we are unable to pahana into Sotapadimaka, at least we create kusala 1. we have at least Manusa Bhumi 1, Deva Bhumi 6, Brahma Bhumi 16, Arupa Brahma Bhumi 4. However, our ultimate goal is we are trying to leave the cycling of existence. So we are aim for at least Sotapaddi Magga. And to aim for Sotapaddi Magga, we still go to the same path. We still go through Bunyagriva to 10 is the same path. So in that case, we need to Sikkaya. We need to know more details about what the teaching of Nuttara Samma Sambuddhi is. So that's for the beginners. We insist that you recite Chitta 121, Cetasika 50, Rupa 28. This one work as a basis. Then later on, we try to listen, read, interact, go to Vatta, Vivatta. Try to read a lot, listen a lot, and then without understanding or not, you will develop. You will improve, yourself will improve eventually, a little bit by a little bit. So for for me, myself, and also Piping, and also our group, we start from recite Chitta, Cetasika, and Rupa, and know nothing about them. We have the objective to recite them only, and then we try to listen a lot. We know we might understand or not understand, but the main objective is stay there and listen. And we have been doing like that for almost many decades, many at least for me is 40 years. And after that, someday, eventually you understand. It's quite surprised, but eventually you understand by sitting there, listen, and start from recite Chitta, Cetasika, and Rupa. And this is the way to go through Bunyagriva to 10 through Sila. So you need your body and interaction with your environment. However, you need to find the correct teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi as a guideline to perform the correct interaction of your body and your environment, and also have Chitta, Cetasika, and Rupa as a base for Bunyagriva to 10 to be able to perform. Bunyagriva to 10 in Sutanta with you, then it becomes 11 and become 23, and then Pahana into Sotapaddi Magga. That is our ultimate goal at this moment, because we want to leave the cycle of existence. That's a good question, as always.
Okay. So you mean that we do not do nothing for enter Punkriya Vattu 10. Only we Sikkaya, then we can get Sila into the Susila, right? Only Sikkaya.
Right.
No need to do any other thing.
Right. It seems easy, right? However, by doing so, it's quite hard. It's quite easy, and it's also the same thing. Quite at the same time, it's quite hard, because what I said, it's easy because you don't have to think. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to think anything. But the hard part is to stop your thinking to uh to interact with Bunyagriva to 10, to stop your opinion or your thinking that become involved with the Bunyagriva to 10. That is a hard part, because the normally we familiar with using our mind, our ideas to decide in everything in our daily lives. We need to think, we need to plan, we need to decide, make decision, many things. That is what we're familiar with, how to use our mind and our body. But when
That
we go through,
if I don't do everything, but only Sikkaya, one thing, I don't do everything, I don't go out, that I get Punkriya Vattu 10 or not?
it seems ideal. Everybody, this is very good question, Ping. And that is why I said it's easy and also it's hard to follow Bunyagriva to 10. the easy part is you don't have to do anything, just sikaya and try to listen a lot and stay and listen and read. The hard part is, as we've been mentioned, it's quite hard that we leave our opinion aside. We usually we have our opinion put in the activities according when we sikaya, as we've been said. When we want to go very quickly, so then we decided we should eliminate all of our daily life, daily activities, and we focus on Bunyak level to 10, on sikaya only. Who said that? We. This is our opinion. We want to speed the system up by our opinion, our beliefs that okay, if we focus on one activities, we should reach our destination quicker than doing other activities altogether. That is our opinion, right? It's not what Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said. What Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi said is, Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi classified your activities, your daily activities into three groups. The first one is Kama Sanya, the second one is Kochara Sanya, and the last one is Morana Sanya. This is normal activities for people. Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi doesn't stop you from doing these three activities. But Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi suggests you to perform one more activities for Manusa, which is Sikkaya, which is Dhamma Sanya. So by listen to the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi, Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi doesn't say that you need to stop performing Kama Sanya, Kochara Sanya, Morana Sanya. But Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi classified your daily activities into three groups, not order you to stop them or eliminate them, but only to classify them into Kama Sanya, Kochara Sanya, Morana Sanya. However, our opinion, we need to go to Lokuttara quickly. So we focus directly on Sikkaya only or Dhammasanya only. That is our opinion. We need to leave our opinion aside and then listen to the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi. This one is the hard part. That's why that's why I said it's also easy, very easy, and also very hard. Very easy because you need to you recite once you recite Citta, Cetasika, and Rupa, and then you sit and listen and read, listen, read, recite. You follow the cycle. That's okay. And then you go to Vatta, Vivatta, perform to help take care and take care of Aye Pante, take care of Vatta, Vivatta, take care of those three and everything, the facilities in Vatta, Vivatta. Those you perform one of Bunya Gravatu. And then it's quite easy doing just that. However, the hard part is to leave your opinion aside, leave your mind aside, because it's quite hard from our experience. It's quite hard to leave your opinion from Sikaya, because when
or
we
this is only excuse, only
yes,
excuse.
we also have many reasons. We
When
have
we
many reasons to do
yes,
it and not
when
to do
we
it.
have to work, then we excuse. No, I don't work. I have to sikaya like
Yes,
that,
sure.
right?
Yes, we speak from our experience. We have a lot of situation like that, right? Because it's quite hard for us to leave our opinion aside. Yes.
If we don't want to work hard or something like we don't want to dig for the vivatta, dig the tree or something, then we say no, I have to sikaya. Only excuse.
Yes.
Okay, kidding. Okay ค่ะ
It,
สาธุค่ะ
it's fun. So in short, to perform Munya Grave to 10, you need Sikaya. Sikhaya, know to understand what the Anuttara Sama Sambuddhi teach, and then you can perform you can perform your daily activities or using this body to interact with others or interact with everything around you according to the teaching of Anuttara Sama Sambuddhi, and then you can enter Sila, which is Susila, and then enter Punyakarayavatu, and Punyakarayavatu takes you from Suttanta into Abhidhamma and then perform Sikhaya and help you get Kusala, and eventually you will go to Lokuttara, beginning from Sotapadimaka. In Sotapadimaka, you need to Pahana in five items, which are Pana, Adina, Kame, Muksa, Michatiti, only 5 items, and then you become Sotapadimaka, and you don't have to go to Abhayabhumi for anymore. Apart from that, there's only way to go, which is Arahata Phala. And
Okay.
Mm.
For me, I can catch one key point is that for the kusala and akusala is in our daily life, and how can we separate from kusala and akusala is sikhaya. Then when after we sikhaya, we can do the same thing, but we inside our citta not the same as if we sikhaya. It is not the same as before that we did not sikhayat at all. So this is the pathway, the pathway that can bring us that in the manusa bhumi into the lokuttara, like
Sato path, yes.
Sato ka.
Very good.
That is
Very
key
good
point.
summary.
Okay.
Very good summary. So I believe that for today we can go through only one topic, which is diagram to 10. Maybe other topic will mention in other classes later on. Okay. So that
It's,
would be
it seems like very easy, but it's very hard because you cannot think everything in your daily life to be kusala only. Like
eventually,
mhm.
eventually, because when you reach Sotapadimaka, your pahan, there are 5 items that are pahana, which is panadinagame musa michatiti. And from that point, you're not you can stay in this world and then never go to Abhayabhumi for anymore.
That is means we are sotapanna only.
Yes.
But
When you
now we
reach
still
at least
manusa.
Sotapadimaka.
But now
Well,
we still normal manusa that we have to sikhaya in order
actually,
to overcome that.
actually, Manutsa itself has privilege comparing to other Bhumi. Manutsa actually Vatu of Manutsa is ready to enter Sotapadimaka. The only obstacles is to Sikhaya, to understand the teaching of Anuttara Samma Sambuddhi and go to the correct path, because what you did in your past life has already created 6 Vatu, and this 6 Vatu, especially for Hataya Vatu, it's ready for you to reach Sotapadimaka. Depends on you can reach it in this life or not. However, the structure of Vatu has already been prepared for you to reach Sotapadimaka. So now it depends on you if you are able to reach Sotapadimaka in this life or not, because of the structure of the Vatu and Citta that stays within with Vatu and also within Vatu has already been prepared and ready for attain Sotapadimaka. Only you can reach there. That is the privilege of being Manusa.
Because we are the fifth level, no? Abaya Pum 4, and we are the 5th one. So we
The
are the
fifth one,
Manusa.
if you count, is correct. We are the 5th one.
Yeah.
However, if you comparing the structure of what to and the readiness to enter Lokuttara,
Mm-hmm.
actually we are almost the first priority. We are on the gateway to enter Sotapadimaka, but are we able to be there? Because of the structure of what to has already been prepared for us. We are ready to go there. Only we need to know the pathway, the correct pathway and correct interaction, and then we can enter Sotapadimaka. Eventually, it's not that as same as Punyakara too. It's not that difficult and it's also not that hard. It's quite simple, but however, it's still hard.
I
And
think
hard
because of
because we
Paramattha
are
is
our obstacle by
yeah,
ourselves.
because Paramattha is in Manusatu, Manusapumi, no, right?
Right.
We still have Tipitaka, so we can reach that Samanta Chakku.
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
สาธุค่ะ
Cool. That will be end of this class. So in this class, we mentioned only one topic, which
Yep.
is Punyakara to 10. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise,
Do we have Pante or Aye?
let's
Okay.
see.
We have
Okay.
Aye, no
Ah,
Pante, no?
okay. Namaskar.
Okay. Namaskaran Aye.
วีสติอริยมรรคะ
Namaskar.
Namaskaran Aye.
วีสติสามัญญภระ
Namaskaran Aye.
เอกานิพพานะขิปปาพิญญาโดยเฉียบพลันในประวัติการนี้เทิน
สาธุสาธุสาธุนาวุติอุปนิธิพันธะอนุโมทามิค่ะสาธุ everybody
สาธุสาธุสาธุนาวุติอุปนิธิพันธะโมทา
อ
มิ
นุโมทามิสาธุ everybody